completely against it. You know I'm completely against it. I'm always going to be completely against it.
It's just fucking bullshit. It's fucking bullshit. It's fucking bullshit.
Okay,
it's
for the record, all right, I like it. All right.
No, it's bullshit.
All right,
I'm
Geeking Out is a great outro.
No, it's,
all right,
it's a horrible outro. You know it's a horrible outro. I know it's a horrible outro.
No, it's amazing outro.
Your concept is bullshit.
No, it's not.
It's just fucking bullshit. It's fucking bullshit. It's
I don't
fucking bullshit.
I don't even have to tell
it's
you.
Fucking bullshit.
Thank you. That sound clip says it all. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the G's for Geek podcast. I'm your host, Charlie Radio Williams.
And this is Sean-Luc.
And we are sitting here discussing about catchphrases. This is just a random topic because as we're doing the Geektopians YouTube show as well as this podcast, we just started thinking about, hey, it'd be good to have a decent catchphrase. And Sean's catchphrase is kind of like the Dos Equis of geek, where he's like, "Stay geeky, my friends." And,
Dang right.
And I just think that it'd be simple if we Geektopians just stuck with "Stay geeky." Or stay
geek. Stay geek.
See, you made me say stay geeky. I meant to say stay geek.
All right, well, we'll worry about that later.
See, no.
Considering we're not at the outro yet.
And I don't want to go down your rabbit hole of ideas when it comes to like intros and outros. All right, I think we should just keep things simple, keep it the way it is. So, with that being said, Geektopians, this week, once again, if you're listening in on the G's for Geek podcast, this is a shoot the shit show with two geeks. We don't dive into anything specific. We just talk random. So if you're listening in and you're like, what the hell is this bullshit in your ears?
Oh, yeah, no. We are going to spew some pure bullshit to you guys.
Pure bullshit.
And we hope you enjoy it because we try to be as pleasant as possible. Yeah. Although I will start with a mini rant.
What is you? You have a mini rant this week?
I have a mini rant, and it's a mini rant that has to go with. And I can hear it now. I can hear the booze. I can hear the.
Shut the fuck up.
Whoa. This is a family show. Is it a family show?
Nah, I don't know.
All right, so it's not a family show. So, all right, that's cool. All right, what's your mini rant about?
So, I saw Captain Marvel.
Oh, God.
And whilst I did enjoy the movie...
No, you did.
I did.
I can hear it in the tone of your voice.
Whilst I enjoyed the movie, I felt like it was nothing groundbreaking.
Don't be one of those fanboys.
I'm not trying to be a fanboy. I think it was a good origin story, but it was nothing for me to say that Captain Marvel is going to save the universe.
Do you feel like... that Marvel set the stage with, because of the last two movies, because of Black Panther and because of Infinity War, that what the hell is that look for?
No, it's because I can hear it turning.
Oh, yeah. Do you think because of those two movies, it the expectation going into watching Captain Marvel wasn't there?
I think it's more so the fact that they are literally, I say 20 movies too late to have a female-led star.
I agree. I was looking at something on Facebook, which somebody was talking about, or they posted images of the chronological order that you should watch the Marvel movies, and apparently Captain Marvel is within the first 5 movies.
Yeah, because technically Captain America would be the first one.
Yeah, but you're right. It is way too late. Just like I saw that in 2020, they're going to do Black Widow.
Yes, but they still haven't, to me, until they confirm it, I don't believe anything that's being said.
Okay.
And right now, they're not confirming anything until after Spider-Man Far From Home.
But isn't that supposed to be... Well, Spider-Man starts stage 4, right?
Yes. Technically, yeah. Technically, that starts stage 4. It was supposed to be Guardians 3.
Okay.
But we know how that went out.
But Guardian 3 is in stage 4, as well as Doctor Strange 2, Black Panther 2.
Yes.
Are in stage 4. Black Widow, as I said, is supposed to be part of stage 4. And I think the Infinite?
The Infinites, yes.
Infinites are
They're
part
supposed
of stage
to be
4
the...
as well, so...
Or the Ultimates. I think it's the Ultimates.
I think it's Intimate. Intimate?
The Infinites.
Infinite? I'm saying Intimates. Imagine Marvel had a series
The Infinite Men?
If Marvel had a series called The Intimates... Intimate.
Okay, first of all, that would be a whole other conversation to have.
I am butchering the word because it sounds like intimate cakes.
Intimate.
So that's the big boy in me talking, or is it?
It's all about intimate.
Intimate. Oh, I don't know why I got the sexy voice happening there.
Oh yeah, you got the sexy voice.
Oh God!
Oh, okay, Steve.
No, God, please,
no.
No.
No. Oh.
No.
Okay. All right, I got it. Oh. All right. We got it. We get it. all right. I'll stay away from doing that.
Oh, that was great. I love it.
Yeah, but so is that your only rant?
Well, that's my biggest rant. I feel like they went too far into the, female power, hear me roar type thing, to the point where they even made Marvel a woman.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, spoilers, sorry. I'm not saying who the woman is.
No, you spoil everything. You're a big spoiler.
Yeah.
You're a great big spoiler.
Well, at this point, if you're not spoiling it, you're just not having fun.
We can't even do spoiler alerts with.
No? Why not?
I don't know.
I know we need to put a spoiler alert piece on the soundboard.
I don't have a rant. All I can tell you is as of the past 2 months, I've been enjoying getting back into wrestling. Mm-hmm. I've been enjoying watching the WWE. I feel like I fall off and on with being a wrestling fan, and I'm not. I don't feel like I'm a fake fan. I think I'm a person that just enjoys wrestling. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to WWE, when I really get into it, I'm really super excited. Right now, I'm rooting for Kofi Kingston. I'm come on, dude, you're the underdog. You can do this. And no matter how much I know, a lot of this is kind of pre-scripted, whatever.
Of course.
The build up. There's a huge side of me, and I think this is the wrestling fan side of me that's screw the script. This is awesome. Kofi has to win. I think I enjoy Vince as a villainous character. I think he plays it well. I think what he's doing is what we've seen him do during the Attitude Era with Stone Cold Steve Austin, with the Generation X, with The Rock after The Rock left the corporation. So what he's doing to Kofi, I think we've seen this before. Daniel Wyatt is such
Daniel Bryan? Daniel Bryan.
Whatever. Screw that Mr. Green Pea guy.
With one of the best looking belts that I have seen in a long freaking time.
I really do hate that belt.
I like that hemp belt.
It's so eco-friendly that I wish somebody would just... no, I'm all for the environment, and I get where he's going with. I just hate the look of the belt. It does not look like a traditional champion belt,
That's right, because you haven't been watching that belt in its format. Mm-hmm. As the black belt, if you will.
Okay.
That belt has been in circulation for quite a few years now.
I'm just saying, the brown belt has been in circulation for a few years now.
That belt, not the brown belt.
Oh.
Because he made that himself for his gimmick.
Oh.
But it was the actual WWE title belt, right? And it was a black strap title belt, right, with the WWE.
Because it looks good with gold. I mean,
it looks good, but now almost every title looks like it.
Well, I noticed that they started switching up. Some titles have red, some are white now.
Yeah, and the only thing that looks different is the United States Championship.
Which it should, because it's one of the greatest belts ever. Anyway, this is going to be a pro USA. We don't want to do that. We don't want to get banned off there,
Considering the person that has the belt right now,
Who?
Samoa Joe.
Oh, what? I like Samoa Joe as a villain. I hope he never turns face.
He's a great villain, and he does cut great promos. I just feel bad for what they're doing to him.
What do you mean?
They keep having him lose these matches, and it's just frustrating.
Well, even when he loses the matches, he has that I have to take a shit face. He is hugely constipated. He's trying to figure out the world, and I'm well played, sir. That is the best angry. I have to take a mean deep. It's he has one of those faces you gotta take a shit so bad you end up taking off all your clothes. Cause you're fully sweaty, and then you're you ever done that? I've done that where I've had to take a shit so bad that my tub is right next to the toilet. so I strip down because I'm super sweaty, it's summertime heat, and then I'm gripping onto the toilet to the tub for dear life.
I've had something similar to that. I've never gone fully naked.
Oh.
Right? The only time I've ever gone fully naked is when we come across an unfortunate scenario. Mm. Where you've taken a shit and you have no toilet paper.
Well, oh, that's a rough scenario.
So I automatically, boom, 1, 2, 3. As soon as I realize there's no toilet paper, drop my clothes, go straight into the shower.
But see, I do that too. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this did just segue from Samoa Joe's face to us talking about mean shits. Oh, thank you. This is what you guys want to hear about in the Shoot the Shit show. So yes, I've had those days where
We've literally shot the shit.
where like I've taken like shits and just was like, you know what, I need to take a shower right now. Like I feel dirty, you know.
I've done that a lot, and that's why I feel like, for me, that's why I just wonder what the whole thing about baby wipes is.
Well, I think so baby wipes are bad for the environment. So
Right.
Here I am making fun of Daniel, but they're bad for the environment. You shouldn't use them. You shouldn't flush. I do believe in wet naps. Those are for like, you know, if you have like female guests over, you know, you're about to.
No, I get that.
You know, having those, but I think that baby wipes are just like, they feel good, you know, like the commercials do, you know, that baby softness.
Oh, of course.
I don't even know what that means. I do want a duvet. Is it a duvet?
Duvet?
Yeah, I want a duvet.
Duvet.
Yeah, I want to do it.
You want water shooting up your ass?
Not up, but I've used one quite a few times, and that cleanliness of having, you know, that spritz, you know, once you're done doing a mean one, it feels great. Other than that, hopping in the shower right after is just completely.
I've
good.
never been on a duvet, so
Okay.
I don't judge.
You should. Like, it's something about it that just feels great. Like,
So speaking on shitting,
okay.
right? Let's go back to wrestling.
Okay.
Yes, I do like the fact that Kofi Kingston has been shitted on
Okay.
because it just builds the story. It fuels up the anger. It fuels the emotions that the fans. To me, that's what's great storytelling.
But
if you can invoke the emotions and the passion of fans, right? That's when you know you're doing it right.
But I think what Kofi is missing is like he's missing a lot of the emotion that shows when you're in ring. I feel like he's definitely missing that. He's just missing that emotion. I feel like he hasn't gone, like, even though he was original, like, you know,
But that's what the New Day.
the New Day were eventually heels at 1st. I don't feel like he's doing that. Like, I don't feel like he's reached that part. Like, I need to see him angry. I need to see him frustrated. I know during the gauntlet, you know, he survived 5, but I just need him to be angry. I need him to go angry like when Vince asked AJ Styles to show himself as the real AJ Styles.
Okay.
And I think that's what's missing from Kofi. Maybe if Kofi went.
But that's what the New Day is for. The New Day is there to convey the emotion, while Kofi himself is the everyman. You understand? This is the guy that's been bleeding, sacrificing for 11 years. But at the same time, he understands that they're not going to have him on the mountaintop.
No, Kofi needs to just drop New Day. He needs to go solo. Kofi needs to go a full 180 Booker T.
I feel like, but
he
I
needs
feel
to go Booker T.
Yeah, but I feel like with Kofi, yes, his talent is amazing and he does have good promo skills. But do you really see him as a main eventer?
I don't think he's worked hard enough, and I think that's what the storyline is that everybody keeps pushing, is that he hasn't worked hard enough. And I think because look at Daniel, right? Daniel also went through his trials. And I don't think Daniel should ever became a main eventer. I don't think he should became a champion. And I think Kofi's in the same boat. I think they're both B+ers. But I think that at some point within an 11-year streak, there should be a switch, a change where you want more, you push more, and once again, like, I'm an off and on wrestling fan, so let me not say too much shit, but in ring, Kofi is like watching Ronda Rousey trying to be a face, where she's better as a heel.
Yeah, but she never really played a heel until recently.
Well, and I think it works because whatever road she was going down sucks. Her trying to be Miss Nice. I'm new to the WWE. I like this Ronda Rousey now. That's a pure badass, and I don't care about the WWE universe.
I will say this to play devil's advocate on this, because don't get me wrong, I'm one of those people that if I watch WrestleMania and I see Kofi Kingston win the title, I'm gonna like pop and go crazy.
Oh no! So I had a friend who he showed me, he had me rewatch a video of when Eddie Guerrero, the late Eddie Guerrero, was alive, and when Eddie had won. And there are certain matches that when you watch them, you get so into it, you end up rooting that it brings a tear to your eye because you're like, you can't believe what you're witnessing. And whether if you're a long time wrestling fan, a new wrestling fan, I think you get it. You can relate to an underdog story.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing though. Like with Kofi Kingston, this is a true underdog story. You're talking about somebody who's been in the business for 11 years, has gotten every single championship with the exception of the main title.
Well, maybe he needs to step up. Yeah, you agree. He needs to step up.
And he has stepped up.
I don't
the
feel like he
performances,
has.
you haven't seen the performances that
sorry.
he's done. I'm going to introduce you to some of the pay-per-views that he has done recently.
Think good the Fulu.
Yeah, but look at the gauntlet match that he just went through. 5 guys. 5 guys. We're not talking about burgers. We're talking about the 5 guys.
The only amazing thing about the 5 guys that he fought was he fought Sheamus, who has been a superstar, immense power. And then he went against the Viper. He went against Randy Orton.
Which they have a history.
Right. Now, screw Samoa Joe. Because right now, even Samoa Joe, like, he's a heavy hitter, but come on, let's be honest. He's technically a joke.
No, he's not a joke.
He is a
Keep
joke.
going.
He is a joke right now.
Nah, I would never call
All
him a
right.
joke.
I
would never say that to his face.
Oh.
I don't want to die.
Ooh, I wouldn't say it to his face either. That's what I'm saying it on air. You know, this is a shoot the shit show.
Yeah, he's going to find us, and he's going to kill us.
Oh, let him. I mean, completely just let him come. Let him try. I mean, it is what it is. Like,
I don't want to die by the hands of Samoa Joe.
You know what? It's always been my dream to get into the ring. It's always been my dream to wrestle. Be it if I take down Joe Clements, be it if I was to wrestle and take you down. I think that with proper training, I can pin Samoa Joe down 1, 2, 3.
Giggity?
Giggity. And I say this as a person who is completely talking out of his ass.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Just making sure.
Because if I went to a Wrestlemania, to a wrestling event, and I was standing in front of Samoa Joe, I'd be taking out hot shit.
Listen, I really want to go to Wrestlemania. I'm very upset.
Oh, I really do too. I want to be there when Kofi wins. I want to be there when The Miz beats Shane O'Mac. I want to be there when when Becky Lynch becomes the new WWE
Raw.
Women's Champion. Yeah. So here I am talking about wrestling. Look at that.
I mean, eventually you had to come around to my world. I mean, eventually.
Here I am. See, I need a name.
When you need a wrestling name?
Wrestling name, you know? I wanna be called the Misfit. The Misfit. I come to the ring and I just do mad shenanigans. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to the ring, weighing in at 230 pounds from New York City, Misfit. And then I come in, like that, and I always run.
Completely generic. Just letting you know.
What? I don't know what to tell you. Well, you got to let me get like a season or 2 in, build up my story, my script. And then, I get some fireworks when I pop up like a Rey Mysterio from out of the ground. But, I got bad knees.
Yeah. I'm like, you know what, Geektopians, listen. If you have an idea for a gimmick from our boy Radio over here, right, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, but keep in mind that my name is the Misfit.
Like I said, if you know of anything better than the Misfit,
Who?
Radio Williams, apparently.
Uh-huh. So, a few minutes ago, ladies and gentlemen, we kind of interrupted. We did take a pause. You won't be able to tell from the cut. But somebody said that Bleach, which is coming out later this year with their season 2, as well as One Punch Man. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Bleach is done.
No, Bleach just announced that the artist is releasing.
No.
More to the Bleach series.
No, I call shenanigans.
Go ahead, look it up.
I'm gonna look it up, but you can keep talking as I look it up.
You were just sitting here talking about Bleach and shit, and now you're looking it up.
Bleach is horrible, man.
But you look like you're filled with excitement. You're ready.
I'm filled with shock that they're still continuing.
You're ready for that return of Ichigo. You're ready for the Soul Society.
No, because I think it really screwed things over.
You're ready for that Orihime.
No, here's the thing. Like, the reason why I got upset with Bleach is because the anime ended on a filler saga. It didn't even give us the Zero Squad that they put in the manga.
Let it go, Sean.
That's what makes me upset.
Just let it go. All right, just take it for what it is. It's coming back. Just like I'm very excited that One Punch Man is coming back. I think that is the highlight of my anime time frame that I'm looking forward to, is for season 2 of One Punch Man.
Yeah, apparently they're doing a different animation style with it and everything.
Oh, I mean, we've seen that with Naruto. Like, as Naruto has changed seasons, especially during the Shippuden run, there was quite a few different artists who had taking different approaches, especially when it was him versus Pain. During the Pain series is when you can see a big shift, and the Naruto series when it came to just action. And I've even seen a few other indie artists like kind of copy that same style when it came towards like doing like mock illustrations, mock animations, and it's pretty fun. It's very abstract, very loose, very dream wavy if you think about it. How deep down the rabbit hole are you going over there?
I'm listening to you.
Okay.
But I'm also trying to figure out, because right now, as it says, is that it's debunked as a rumor.
Oh no, it's not a rumor. It's coming. It's coming. I believe everything that I hear on Fox News. All right, no, that's a joke. All right, that is your face alone on that one. Oh, yeah, that's how I feel. Yeah. So, all right, Sean. So what else do we have? What else do we have before we get out of here?
I'm just saying, like, I'm looking at this right now, like, yo, you really thought that Bleach was coming back.
Bleach,
the movie itself, don't get me wrong, the movie itself, they need to have a sequel to the movie. Because the movie, as an adaptation...
Which movie? There are quite a few movies.
The first Bleach live-action movie.
Okay.
Right? They haven't... That adaptation, albeit different from the original, was actually a decent adaptation.
We have a lot of things falling around us right now. I don't know why.
I think it's because we're cursed.
And this chair is too squeaky. It's the arms.
Yeah, it is the arms.
The arms so squeaky.
It's fine. You know what? Nobody ever said that we were a high grade professional studio having podcast.
Sometimes I wonder what I would be like if I was squeaky.
If you were squeaky?
If I was squeaky.
Yo, that would be so weird.
Wouldn't it be awkward walking behind people if you're like squeaky?
It'd be awkward having sex. Think about it. You just go, squeak, 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 squeak.
Well, all right. Glad you said that. So whenever things that annoy radio, when you have sneakers that are wet and you're walking down the hallway, and all you hear is the sound of like your wet sneakers. Oh my god, that sound bothers me so
much. Yeah, I know my sneakers do that regularly now.
Why are you always stepping in water? Is there like a puddle everywhere?
Just, I don't know. It's just my sneakers give that little crickle every time I talk. And it doesn't have that squeaky piece that sound that part. No, it doesn't have that part.
Bothers me. That bothers me right up there with people who go downstairs in subway systems when everybody's coming up. Like, and it bothers me. And in my head, I'm like, the train already left. You can't wait until we all empty the station for you to come down. And I get it. You know, like, there's two sides. Growing up, you learn, like, there's two sides to the stairs. Everybody can go to the left.
Yeah.
But I'm just kind of like, listen, we all just want to get out of this compact area. There's, like, 3 of you, 50 of us. Can we get out first before you have to?
This is New York, man. New York is survival of the toughest.
No.
You got to barrel through all of those 50 people before you miss 2 trains.
It just bothers me. It really does bother me. One day I was getting on a train early in the morning to go to work, and there was like I'm assuming she was a nurse because she was wearing a nurse outfit. So this is about like 5 in the morning, and she goes to get on the train, and she's like, "God damn it, I can't get a seat. Why are so many people asleep on the damn train?" Right? So now this wasn't a train cart that had like the homeless sleeping in it. This was a train cart that had like people who were going to work asleep. And in my head, I'm like, it's 5 in the morning, right? That's why people are asleep. We're trying to get at least 30 minutes back in before we have to go to whatever job it is, all right?
Of course.
And then she got on the train, finally got a seat, and you know what she had the audacity to do, Sean?
Eat her breakfast?
She went to sleep.
Oh.
That's so hypocritical. She's a hypocrite, Sean. I wish I had a photo so that whenever she gets on a train, she could never go to sleep.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Yeah. So.
But we're in New York. New York is full of hypocrites. Come on now.
I have a friend who's he's afraid to go to sleep on the train because he's afraid somebody's going to stick a dick in his mouth. We know this person.
Wait, what?
One day we were talking. He was like, his biggest fear is falling asleep on the train, and somebody's just walking up to him and sticking a dick in his mouth. And in my head, I'm like, where? I'm sorry, this show just... In my head, I'm like, where? Like, and I don't want to joke about it so much because now, like, I think about that too. Like, There's a lot of
I
creeps
fall
out there.
asleep a lot on the train.
Yeah,
Like,
and like the last thing you ever think about is like you falling asleep on a train and somebody walking up and just sticking a dick in your mouth.
like, where do you come up with that?
But now that somebody has put that idea in my head, that fear that one day I could be asleep on a train, and I don't sleep with like my mouth like down. Like I try to I've had moments where I've drooled.
Okay.
I've done that like yo-yo drool where like you drool, it falls halfway down, and then you back up like it's a porn. But I've never yeah, you heard me say that, like it's a porn where it's like but I've never all right, comment. But I've never like fallen asleep where like my mouth is like wide open. So I'm just like once again, like I know that there are people who get on the subway system and they're like very fearful of things happening, like being groped, being touched, like just so many inappropriate things.
But that's that stuff is natural and normal because there are crazy people on the train.
Yeah, and because there's crazy people on the train, and somebody has put that notion in my head that you can fall asleep, and some random guys out there just sticking his dick in mouths. I'm like, no, that is not. Don't share that thought with nobody.
The only reason I would partially justify it because I don't see it.
How do you justify it?
I cannot fully justify that fear. However, I literally saw a homeless person whip his dick out in the middle of the train and pee on the floor.
Wow. You see, but that doesn't surprise me. I feel like, going back to the whole New York thing, I feel like that doesn't surprise me because I've seen so many things in New York that I'm kind of like, Like, the other day, there was like a guy, I don't know if he was homeless or not, but he's on his phone and he's looking at porn, right? And I saw another guy take a photo of him. And I can only imagine that the other guy was taking a photo of him to be like, oh, this guy's a pervert because he's watching porn on his mobile device on a train where there's kids and stuff like that. In my head, I'm like, I would never do that, but it's normal for me to see people do it. Mm-hmm. Which is, I don't know what that says about me as an individual, that I wasn't the one who was like taking photos to be like oh, I gotta post this. I'm kind of like, you know what, like he's looking at his own device, he's not causing harm. But then again, I'm like, oh, that's not really good, because what if a mom gets on the train with her daughter, or any woman gets on the train, or any child gets on the train? I can understand how that's disturbing, and there's some things that should be done in private. But at the same time, like I'm like, this guy is like, he has like a Metro Plus phone. Oh. And in my head, I'm like, you have a Metro Plus phone with porn on it? Like,
I mean, he's using that Metro plan to the max.
But it is disturbing that, you can like I see people all the time, like especially like when you're in the Times Square area and there's a lot of tourists and they looking around like, oh my God, I can't believe that's happening. And then every now and then you'll hear this. You'll hear somebody say, why is nobody else fazed by this? And it's like, well, the reason we're not fazed is because when you're used to seeing this shit, you're just kind of like, all right, in one, out the other, in one, out the other. Mm-hmm. So, but what does that say about us as New Yorkers, John?
That says that we are desensitized to a lot of shit.
Really? But,
yes.
All right. So with that being said, do you think we're desensitized because of the 80s and 90s? And action movies?
No, I think we're desensitized as New Yorkers just for the simple fact that here in New York, anything and everything can and has happened.
Yeah, like...
I mean, we got hit with not one, but 2 terrorist attacks. Like...
Well, but even with that, like, so I was in high school when 9/11 happened. No, I had just graduated. And one of the things I started to notice was in the movies that a lot of the themes disappeared. Remember, it used to be like, in the 90s, like, coming to theater to you, John Alexander, John McCain, I don't know why I said that, John Smith.
John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt.
His name is my name too.
Yes.
John Jacobs takes on the Russian. Like, like, Bruce Willis movies were him versus the Russians, Schwarzenegger. Like, you had all these action stars who were fighting against either the Russians or people from the Middle East. And then 9/11 happened, and those movies disappeared very quick. And it made me start to wonder, like, were we now at a point that we're no longer creating movies with those themes because reality is catching up to us. You know, or I can say fantasy is catching up to reality. Because once again, like in the 80s, you had all these action movies that was, you know, America go gun ho, America do this, and now it's like, ooh, okay, we've had this big tragedy. Let's calm down. Let's no more these, like, even if you look at movies now, like where we don't have these like pro American, let's go overseas, Die Hard, we don't have that anymore, and right. I think it's a good thing, but then I also think it's interesting that I don't know if it was a learning curve, if it was something like we just became like we just realized we can't do that anymore. Like, I don't know.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's a whole other conversation to talk about, like how society has changed over the years and how certain things that we used to love and do, like our Saturday morning cartoons.
Oh, I was about to name drop that script too.
Yeah, that Saturday morning cartoons are dead and gone, and pretty soon TV itself is going to be dead and gone, and you know, Netflix is going to be dead and gone, and we're just going to go into the world of virtual reality and augmented reality, where a movie is going to be just us walking next to or right around with our VR goggles next to like Marvel characters.
What do you mean movies? You mean holodecks?
Holodecks? No. We're talking about walking holodecks. Like we're talking about holodecks? Having the VR system.
Like in Ready Player One?
Yes. But in real life.
I don't want that. I want holodecks.
I know you want.
All right, so now I have a question. All right,
I love how we went from about to close the show to having more stuff.
So now what holodecks, right? Because I always thought about this, right? On DS9, Quark would be like, "Hey, you know, I have a holodeck. You know, that's."
I'm gonna tell you something after this.
I have a. Wait, what the? What? You can't just say that.
Okay, Quark holodeck, go.
All right, so he would be like, you know, I have a holodeck program. Now he had like some sexy holodecks. Part of me wished to see what that was. I know they did one where he sampled Major Kira. Yeah, see, we're going back to Star Trek right now. He sampled Major Kira, and then Kira found out, and she like deleted the program or whatever. Right. I think, as much as we're in a era where everybody's like, sex dolls.
Okay.
I can't imagine a world where it's holographic images that are so lifelike, because we've learned to master light and turn light into physical objects that our mind perceives as physical objects, that we are now like, you know, prostitution, there's no more, because now you can just go to a holodeck and bam. Now my rant here isn't about the holodeck. My rant here is, who cleans the holodeck once it was used? That's my fear. Is like, I go into a holodeck to do an action adventure and the floor is slippery. You know, I can't do black light because once you run black light in a room, it's no longer a room you want to be in. You know?
I think, being the fact that it's the future, one would hope that it's very self-sustaining.
Like the room cleans itself?
Yes.
Oh, so that's interesting. The room cleans itself from DNA.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So, because I think when we go to hotels, like, we don't go to hotels with the idea like, yo, somebody fucked in this room, not but an hour or two ago,
right?
You know, before somebody came in and cleaned it up. Just like I always hear. Well, I know at motels people always go, "Don't touch the curtains," and I'm like, why don't touch the curtains?
Don't touch the curtains.
And I
as experience.
Never.
Don't touch.
Wait, what happens when you touch the curtains?
Don't touch the curtains.
What are people doing on curtains in motel rooms?
Yo, let's keep going. You're over here distracting now.
But anyway, with holodecks, like, I just think about that. Like, I don't like. What if I go on a holodeck and like it's just, you know, what if they left the program running? You know, like,
that'd be great. You walk in and next thing you know, it's like you're in the middle of a freaking holodeck porn.
I don't know.
You're like, just like, wait, I just wanted to like enjoy the Wild West. I didn't know there was gonna be the wild sex.
Oh,
like,
I don't know. Well, speaking about Wild West, Westworld is an interesting concept too, because Westworld isn't holographic; it's physically mechanics. But there were people who paid, I guess it's like the rich man Disney, where people would just pay, thousands of bucks to take their family or go and have their own adventures. But they were having sex with robot dolls, with personalities.
Honestly, that's no different than now when people are having sex dolls.
But who's cleaning it? Well, I heard about there's a sex doll hotel, right? And I'm going to leave off with this one because I really want to know what you have to talk about. There's like a sex doll hotel. Who's cleaning this stuff? Who gets hired for this?
You have to have good pay for that one.
Like, a gynecologist goes to school to study, to learn how to handle the female anatomy, like how to do, I mean, we're speaking about male gynecologists, not women. But they go and they learn this. It's a practice. It's a medical form.
Mm-hmm.
They get paid the money that a doctor makes. But how much does the person who has to clean out a sex doll make? Is my question. Has to clean it, has to wipe it down, all right? Has to wipe it down like their grandparent who can't move anymore, or like an obese person that they just have to wipe down. Let me be careful what I say on the show, because I don't want anybody to hear this and be like, I'm making fun of people. I'm just saying, like, there are some people...
Fun of people?
No.
I have to figure out, like...
I have to make a disclaimer. There are people in this world who are in certain states that they cannot clean themselves, and they have family members who clean them. So I'm not making fun of anybody overweight. I'm not making fun of anybody who's old. I'm just saying when there are sex dolls, who goes in there and cleans who?
All I'm saying is, to answer that question, we need to create a spoof.
A spoof?
A spoof.
What kind
of short film of those lowly workers that have to go in there after like John Whatsits has sex with the sex doll.
Oh, SFS would produce that movie.
I would so star in that. I'd be the lowly worker.
Can we call it like Night at the Plastic Berry or something like that? Like
Jesus
just some
Christ.
corny name, like, and then we can shoot like those like real world clips where like behind the scenes, like they're in like their own room and they're like, well, it was a late night and it was just really chaotic and I wasn't expecting to go in there and there was 2 dolls, not 1 but 2. Like even if you walked into the room, right? See. Rabbit hole, going down this. Even if you walked in the room, Sean, and there were like 3 to 4 dolls, one person in that room, who's cleaning that? That's too much DNA. That's too much Law and Order. All right, it's too much. All right, I'm just saying. Like,
that person needs to get paid a pretty penny. That's all I'm saying.
Like, talk about cum dump factory. Like that's just bad, son. I don't know how I feel. Like
we would have to go to the place that does the sex doll stuff and ask him how does he do it.
Like, oh man, like, but what if that became an occupation? What if like you were on like LinkedIn or you were looking for a job on like Monster.com and it was like
I doubt we'd have cum cleaner on Indeed.
No. But let's say like you wasn't working and you needed a job. Would you, like, if it paid decent, would you do it?
Maybe.
Would you? Maybe.
I mean, a man needs to pay his rent, so
that's what I'm thinking. Like, I mean, I'm thinking that, but I wouldn't do it. I don't know, like if it's between like serving food at McDonald's and like being the guy that goes in the room to clean up the dog.
If that thing pays more than McDonald's, like a lot more, then yeah, you would consider it.
I don't know, like I feel like there needs to be like a smoking, non-smoking room, but in this case, like there's a condom, no condom room, so I can just get the room with condoms, so that way, like cleaning the mess up is a little bit easier, All right, I'm done. This rant is done.
You went deep into a rabbit hole.
It's the rabbit hole, man. Like, oh, okay.
You went deep down the rabbit hole.
All right, so what is it you have to tell me, sir?
No, what I was just simply saying is that a friend of mine, we were having a conversation recently, and she told me that she didn't like DS9. She said it was the worst Star Trek series out of all of them.
Who is she?
I will not divulge this information.
I feel like I know who it is.
Maybe not, but I still refuse to divulge information.
How do they know? Everybody always shits on DS9, and granted, DS9 is kind of like Babylon 5 in story, but and whole.
I think I guess for me, I had a certain bias to DS9 because it gave us the horrors of the Star Trek universe. If you really think about it, unlike the Next Generation, which gave us snippet, right? Like you saw the parts, but 9 times out of 10, it was always some kind of like harebrained episode or adventure, right? And then you, of course, got the original series, which was its own cheesiness. You got Voyager, who ended up exploring a whole new freaking universe. Then you got Enterprise, which explored the past, right? DS9 explored what it was like to be in a war.
I think it's a little bit more than just the war. DS9 showed us what it's like to really be the Federation, because not only did the Klingons turn against them at some point and leave them, but then they came back when they were getting decimated, right? And I think that's one of the issues you see with trying to be such a huge community, where you're constantly trying to prevent internal struggles from happening while also taking care of outside things. Like something that I am very happy that did not happen during the whole DS9 story arc is that the Borg had no part in that storyline.
No.
Because I feel like with all the conflict between the Jebediah, between the Kardashians,
The Cardassians.
Cardassians, sorry.
The Cardassians.
The founders, that to throw the Borg in that mix would just be like...
Well, that's why they did in the very beginning. That's why they did that whole backstory with Cisco, with the Borg during the Battle of Both Worlds.
I am the cutest.
Right. It was during the Battle of Both Worlds where, Locutus literally decimated 2/3 of the Federation fleet through the battle, and included Cisco's wife.
Well, all right. So what do you think we're going to be now? Because with them doing Picard.
Yeah, I think Picard is going to be... I don't know if it's going to be an after story or if it's going to be a prequel, which it can't be a prequel because Jean-Luc Picard's coming back.
I want to see how they're going to handle Q. Because the actor who plays Q is, like, old and, like, you... Like,
they probably might bring in a different Q. Remember, there are multiple Qs in the universe.
No, but I want that Q. I want the Q
well,
that
they
we
can
all
bring
love.
in that Q, but much like what they tried to do in Next Generation, he had a kid. I'm sorry, not Next Generation, in Voyager.
Oh, he did have a kid.
He had a kid in Voyager.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. So because of that, they can bring in a younger Q or even just someone else within the Q verse.
I think they might try to play it off like Q decided he wanted his look to look old.
Yeah.
To match that way, or like they might do something where like maybe he lost his humanity, like he loses his Q membership again,
which was great.
And then to bring him out of that, when like they reinstate him again. I don't know why they write it like that, but when they reinstate it, like one thing that they decided to do was leave his image as him being old. That'd be interesting.
And yeah.
Now, goddamn it, back to this DS9 thing. All right, anybody who craps on DS9 really doesn't understand what the DS9 story arc is. Between Cisco having to deal with the Jebediah, between him having to deal with the Maquis, which I think, even though we see them at the very end of TNG, we see the Maquis at the very end of TNG. I think that it is very important to understand how they end up forming. The fact that the Federation wanted to move settlers on planet that were in Cardassian space out. People said they weren't gonna go, which you also saw that in TNG 2, the episode where Wesley Crusher ends up finding his spirit and becoming a part of the spatial timeline. But even that, they were on a planet they was trying to resettle Native Americans who the Kardashians wanted off of the planet.
Right.
So I can understand how I think DS9 really did fill in a gap of where did the Maquis come from? Why do we have the Maquis? And then you can piece together the timeline between TNG and as well as DS9.
Right, and then you can go further into Voyager where there was Maquis agents in the ship.
Well, that also something else DS9 helped filled in was, I'm trying to remember her name from TNG. She's a part of Major Kira's race. The
Bajoran?
The Bajoran. But the one who we all thought was going to hook up with Riker because she was like super.
But she's not a Bajoran. She's a Benziot?
No. She ends up taking helm. When Wesley's no longer on the bridge doing helm, she's one of like the best helmsmen. And then she later goes undercover as an operative, and you find out she gets killed.
Oh,
As a
okay, different person. Gotcha.
But
All right.
but that whole Kardashian Bajoran storyline, you get introduced to it in TNG.
Well, yeah, you get introduced to that whole thing about long-term slavery and, oppression, and that's what I'm saying. DS9, compared to the other ones, to me was a dark Star Trek series, and it introduced the horrors of what the Star Trek universe was about.
Now let me ask you something. Would you watch a series that's about the alternate universe?
Yes.
Right? I feel like there's so much they can do there.
I want to see the Federation as pure evil bastards.
I feel like they've done it in Voyager. I feel like all the Star Trek they've done it in they've done it in Enterprise. I know they did it in Enterprise.
Yes.
Where Enterprise learns about
The
Enterprise.
Mirrorverse.
Yeah. They did it in OST, the
Yes.
original Star Trek.
Well, that's how it started.
That's how you get if you
goatee,
have a goatee.
goatee Spock.
They did it in DS9 where the whole story, in which once again that's a good storyline, where Cisco gets killed in his universe, his wife is still alive,
Yeah.
she comes back, she kidnaps Jake Cisco, there's this whole plot. I feel like Voyager does have an episode.
They probably do. Like they've all touched upon, just like they've all tried to touch upon the Q-verse, right? And that's why I'm happy that if you look at I think it was the last episode of DS9, and this is what sealed it for me, right? At the end of the episode, they won the war, and it was Cisco. I forgot the main Cardassian that turned on them. I was gonna say
Dukat.
Dukat, yes. So it was him, Dukat,
Gold
and the
Dukat.
Klingon general, right? And Dukat is claiming victory. He's happy, and Cisco and I forgot the Klingon's name, just looking at their glasses, and they literally just pour it down. And it's just
not the final episode. It's like a transition where like Dukat, where the Kardashians end up joining forces with the founders and the Jebediah. Jem'Hadar. All right, I'm butchering.
the Jem'Hadar.
They end up joining.
Because it became such an intense battle. Like the war itself between the Cardassian war and then the founders coming in, then the Jem'Hadar coming in and destroying both everybody, right? To the point where like enemies have to become friends, it is a natural trope in TV, but the way it was done so kind of horrifically that you get the pain and emotion at the end of that episode where it's like, these guys lost a lot. You're over here trying to celebrate a victory, but look at the cost. Look around you, because around you the place was destroyed.
Well, one of the things I love about DS9 is the anime ending of the wars won, the good guys win, but we lose the hero. Because Cisco becomes a part of the overall. He joins the not the collective. What is it? What is it? They call them where
I know what you're talking
everybody's
about.
praying to them.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
That's why I always I love Avery Brooks as I know he's a professor. I love him as
an actor.
Have you ever seen The Captains?
Yeah,
that's a great documentary. Like that documentary is one of the reasons why I wanted to start SFS as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I've just it's always been on my bucket list to meet Shatner, to just say thank you. Because I feel like even though I didn't explore science, I've always wanted to explore storytelling, and at some point,
for me, that's what the Next Generation itself was. I mean, for me, Next Generation got me into my nerddom, if you will. Because as they bringing in all these beautiful sci-fi ideas, it did bring a possibility of, well, this is possible in the future. Like it's science fiction, but you have the possibility where it's now becoming reality.
Well, so last thing about DS9, and I think this is a very important episode to talk about. The episode where Dr. Bajir, Cisco, and they end up going back in time. With Dax as well.
Yes.
And they end up going back in time at the point where the on Earth, they start to change because they were doing like project housing and separation of people, and they had too much poverty. And there's this big riot that happens. Somebody's a martyr. And I think that's a very important scene because we've always wondered, like, as a society, how did we get to this point that things change?
Okay.
So, all right.
I mean, it's a very interesting. I love the ideology behind Star Trek. You know, and it's not as fantastical as Star Wars is.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong, I love Star Wars too.
Well, I just feel like everybody in Star Wars is a slave.
Yeah,
All right, everybody's just a slave.
but the Empire did nothing wrong.
Slave, bounty hunter.
Empire did nothing wrong.
The Empire did nothing wrong.
The Empire did nothing.
I can't even
wrong.
reach the soundboard to hit the button, but I don't know what to tell you. What do you mean the Empire didn't? That's not the button I
The
meant.
Empire did nothing wrong.
All right. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. This has been a really interesting show. We've dived down so many rabbit holes or shitholes.
Shitholes.
Thank you for listening to the G is for Geek podcast. I'm your host, Charlie Radio Williams.
And this is Sean-Luc.
And as always, stay geeky. I hate that so much. All right, we're out of here. We are out of here. Yeah, that is
so much better.
That felt better. That did feel better. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are out of here.
Hey Geektopians, what's up? I hope you enjoyed today's episode of G for G. If you did, listen to my boy Radio where he can help you find out where we'll find more episodes.
All right. Hey, Geektopians. The G for G podcast is brought to you by SketchFedStudios.com. For more entertainment such as podcasts, blogs, and shows, visit SketchFedStudios.com. And as always, stay geeky. And we are out of here.